23-year-old Kayla Hodgson worked as a bottle service waitress in the South Florida nightlife scene, frequently seen late at night in local clubs. On July 13th, 2022, in the city of Tamarack in South Florida, sheriff's deputies responded to an emergency call from an apartment building on Northwest 57th Street.
911, what's the address of the emergency?
Oh, ma'am, I don't know the address.
Okay, what is the apartment number?
The caller, Revelto Robinson, had entered his friend's apartment after finding the door unlocked, only to discover a gruesome scene.
If fire rescue's on the way, they're coming as fast as they can.
Can I run down and go get paramedics?
No, but you could go outside and direct them in.
Hold on, ma'am. I'm going to get them now. Hold on.
Okay.
Yo!
23-year-old Kayla Hodgson had been stabbed multiple times, with her throat slit from ear to ear. The only witness to the crime was her dog, who had helplessly watched the brutal attack unfold.
Caller said that there's a gash on the patient's neck. It looks like someone slashed her neck.
As the investigation began, the story took an unexpected turn. While detectives initially focused on the men in Kayla's life, they soon shifted their attention to the women in theirs. It appeared that the real motive stemmed from the jealousy of a woman who had harbored resentment towards Kayla. The anger, fueled by jealousy, had been building for some time, ultimately leading to a fatal outburst.
I'ma go buy me a gun, and I'ma come back and set this motherfucker off.
Kayla lived with her mother in Tamarack, about 30 minutes from Fort Lauderdale. She had become a well-known figure in the area. About a year before her death, Kayla began seeing a man named Revelto Robinson. Though they were never officially in a relationship, they had been messing around for some time, casually linking up whenever they could. On July 13th, 2022, at 3 p.m., Dispatch Deputy Houston arrived at the building, guided by Revelto, who had quickly made his way down 2 flights of stairs to meet the responding officers in the parking lot. Additional sheriff deputies and paramedics arrived shortly after.
Oh, shit.
As the deputies listened to Revelto's account, they remained observant, knowing that in situations like this, the person who discovers a body can become a person of interest. At this point, Revelto was still considered just a witness, but his role in finding the body put him under scrutiny. Kayla's body was found just inside the threshold of apartment 200, the home she shared with her mother, Diana. It was evident that she had died from multiple stab wounds, lying on the floor, surrounded by shards of broken glass. Deputies moved through the apartment to ensure no one else was inside. As they surveyed the scene, they found clear signs of a violent struggle. While Kayla was found lying on her back close to the door, deeper inside the apartment, bloodstains marked the walls, floor, and kitchen island. A dark hose, typically used for hookah smoking, lay beneath Kayla's body, and glass shards were scattered across the floor. Part of the base of the hookah was found on the counter, suggesting that Kayla had been dragged from the front door to where her body was ultimately discovered. On Kayla's right hand, a fingernail was missing, likely torn off during a struggle with her killer. A DNA sample was collected from the site, a critical piece of evidence should investigators find a match or identify a suspect in the future. Blood droplets scattered throughout the apartment suggested that the killer had remained in the residence for some time after Kayla had been fatally injured. Investigators discovered several bloodstains in both Kayla and her mother, Diana, bedrooms, with notable areas of blood found in Kayla's closet and bathroom. In the kitchen, there were indications that someone had attempted to clean up, particularly around the kitchen island, which was positioned across from where Kayla's body had been found. Additionally, investigators determined that much of the glass that formed the base of the hookah was missing. It was speculated that it had been shattered during the attack, with the pieces later removed from the scene in an apparent effort to conceal evidence. One of the most telling pieces of evidence was a series of shoe prints found around Kayla's body. The prints were clearly marked with the brand name BB, and their positioning around the scene suggested they had been left by someone other than Kayla herself. These bloody footprints continued outside the apartment, leaving a trail that extended from apartment 200 down the stairwell, across the cement pathway, and into the parking lot.
Hey, alright, two separate tracks. You got one going this way and one going to the elevator. He said he was the only one in there. We have witnesses here?
Hold on. The guy found her. Right now, he's over there. We got him.
The trail gradually became fainter as it moved further from the building. It remained unclear whether the prints were left by the killer, or if they were from Revelto Robinson, whose visible bloodstains on his hands may have resulted from his efforts to flag down emergency responders.
He's confirming. I'm going to ask his name. He ran down. He ran down. The guy who found her ran down, flagged fire rescue, then ran back up. So he's saying these are his friends.
Investigators also considered the possibility that items had been removed from the apartment and disposed of in the building's trash bins, following the trail left by the bloody footprints.
Well, there's bloody footprints that come all the way down. So when you come upstairs, just be careful. Oh, there's there, and then they kind of lead all the way here, and then here. So I'm guessing he made it out to 57 if it's a 5.
Yeah, if it's a 5, yeah, it's probably domestic 5.
Yeah, so I want to lock that so nobody comes in there and here. And then the whole stairwell, you can see it from out.
Importantly, the BB branded footwear matched a pair of slip-on shoes that Kayla was known to wear, and there was evidence that her closet had been accessed by the person who had attacked her. Throughout this, Revelto Robinson remained at the scene, waiting patiently. Blood was visible on his hands, which he did not wipe off until after speaking with detectives, following their instructions.
Hey, listen, man. I'm sorry that you're going through this. We're going to do everything we can to help you out. We'll be here for you, all right? I appreciate you talking to me and being cooperative and calm, all right? We're going to have a million questions to ask you. Just bear with us, all right?
Velt, as he was known to his friends, explained that he had last seen Kayla the evening before, around 7 p.m. He had come to pick up money that had been wired to Kayla's account. Then he went home for the night. Kayla worked as a bottle girl at a local club called Spot Lounge, where she had a regular shift every Tuesday that ran until about 4 a.m. The following morning, Velt returned to the apartment, but Kayla did not answer the door. She didn't pick up her phone and wasn't responding to her text messages. He left to get something to eat, and when he returned, he noticed that Kayla's car was parked in an unusual spot, just outside the building's lot instead of directly near the entrance. He checked the license plate to confirm it was her car, realizing she was home. The combination of her unusual behavior and the silent treatment made him suspicious. He went back upstairs and knocked hard on her door. When he tried to open the door, it was unlocked.
Banging on the door, so like the car's here, I'm banging on the door. And then I just checked the door, and I checked the door open, and she was right there.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, so she's facing, her head is facing this way, and her arms is out like right here. As soon as she's walking by the aisle in the kitchen on the left side of the aisle. So literally on the
Did you
left
see
side.
anything unusual besides the fact that
No, nothing out of the ordinary I was seeing besides that.
was there anything around her, anything near her?
She had a hookah rope. Her hookah hose is under her.
Okay.
Velt described his relationship with Kayla as just messing around. He had a girlfriend named Nadia who lived in New York. By all accounts, Kayla was aware of Nadia, but Nadia did not know about Kayla.
So you've been dating her for about a year?
Yes.
Are you her only boyfriend?
I have no idea.
Okay,
Just
no
mess
problem.
around.
Okay. And for about a year.
Yes. She's a bottom girl at a party.
She what?
She's a bottom girl at a party. She works at Jamaican party every weekend. Every Tuesday, I mean.
Where's that at?
It's right down the road, and it's far down here.
Velt and Kayla had been seeing each other for about a year. As a bottle girl, Kayla received a lot of attention. She met men easily and was frequently dating. Her close friends provided a few names of men she had been involved with. In addition to Velt, Kayla had gone on a few dates with a man named Shakur, and she was also in contact with another man from the club who went by a nickname. Kayla was occasionally in touch with a realtor from New York named Terrence, and she had an ex-boyfriend, though her friends said that he was no longer in the picture. At this point, investigators were building a list of people who might have had a motive or opportunity to harm Kayla. The dog, the only witness to the crime, had walked through the scene and had witnessed what had happened. As the investigation continued, Kayla's family began arriving at the scene. First, it was her cousin, followed by more relatives, and then neighbors who knew her. People gathered at the base of the apartment complex, trying to understand what had happened and waiting for answers. While the deputies tried to be respectful, giving the family space, they were unable to share much due to the ongoing investigation. Kayla's loved ones described her as a kind-hearted and compassionate individual who didn't seek out drama and was loved by many. As investigators worked to determine who could have wanted Kayla dead, they began canvassing the building, speaking to neighbors to see if anyone had witnessed anything. It was then that a 16-year-old neighbor came forward with a critical piece of information. In the early morning hours, the teen reported that someone had knocked on her door, claiming that someone on the floor had stolen their backpack, which had been left in the stairwell. After speaking with officers at the apartment building, the teen gave a recorded statement to detectives, providing them with more information about the events that had transpired.
In your own words, could you just tell me about what happened that night?
So it was around like 2:30 maybe. I had a knock at the door, so I looked through the peephole, but I wasn't sure who it was. But I seen it was a woman, and she was kind of standing off to. When I opened the door and I poked my head out, she was talking to me. She was kind of not looking, like she was looking, but like over her shoulder. And then at one point, she turned and she pulled her mask down. And she told me that she looked like someone took her bag. Like she put a bag down on the stairs, walked around the complex, told me she came back and her bag was gone. And she said, I knocked on everybody's door, or I'm knocking on everybody's door on this floor because somebody on this floor took it. She said she heard a door open and then it closed. Probably like 20 minutes later, I started hearing banging at the door. Like it was like somebody was aggressively banging. But I didn't come out my room, like see who it was. But I called my mom, told my mom that there was somebody banging on the door.
The neighbor's unit was located near Kayla's, and there was no evidence that someone had actually gone door to door searching for a missing bag in the middle of the night. It seemed more likely that the neighbor had encountered the killer, who had knocked on the wrong door. The teen provided a description of the individual.
Kind of like a coat, a Yankees cap, like black sweatpants, and I'm not sure what type of shoes they are, but I know they're like really expensive.
Surveillance cameras in the building captured footage of this woman. When investigators reviewed the footage of the individual leaving the building, they noticed she had changed clothes and shoes. The camera showed her carrying a cardboard box and a paper bag, which investigators speculated contained items taken from the crime scene. In the following days, detectives instructed the team to search the garbage compactor for any potential evidence.
Day 3 of a homicide investigation. At one point, deputies focusing on the garbage area downstairs from where a woman was found dead. The victim's second-floor apartment is still blocked off, a biohazard bag and evidence markers on the ground.
The unknown is driving us crazy. You know, we don't know who did this. We don't know why you would do this.
Kayla's mother, Diana Hodgson, who worked as a flight attendant, immediately flew home after hearing the horrific and devastating news of her daughter's death. She met with detectives to provide any information that might help with the investigation. Diana listed several items that were missing from the apartment, including a pair of slip-on BB brand shoes.
I have the pair of slides that this person was wearing, and you told me they were BB slides, and provided a description of them. Without me showing you a photo, is that correct?
Correct.
We just discussed that on the phone. And you described them as a pink slide-type sandal with kind of fuzzy...
Yes.
And
the BB lettering is like a glitter, like a rhinestone look to it.
Despite their differing schedules, Diana and Kayla had maintained a close relationship, and Diana was well aware of her daughter's social life, work, and relationships. Over the past few months, Kayla had been receiving threatening phone calls, and the frequency of these calls had increased in the days leading up to her death.
She did mention that she was having an issue as of lately with the prank phone calls, and she seemed to be a little bit more concerned about that.
Velt was also aware of these calls. Kayla had suspected for some time that Velt's girlfriend in New York was behind them. Though the number was blocked, the slang used in the calls, like the term deadass, was characteristic of New Yorkers. Kayla believed that Velt was unaware of the specifics of the calls, and that the details were something he hadn't noticed.
Probably like a couple weeks ago, she was getting like prank calls, people calling her like constantly, people calling like prank calling her like, like just prank calls. And she said something, but she didn't get into details about it.
However, the most revealing insight came from a conversation with Kayla's best friend, Janisa, who also worked as a bottle girl.
There was a guy named Shakur. There was a guy named Terrence. Terrence, he lives in New York. That'll be about it.
Okay, so
That was.
Cure, Velt,
Then there's her ex-boyfriend,
Javon.
Javon.
Okay. But does she see him at all still, or no?
No, they haven't seen each other in a while.
And we know Terrence has a girlfriend.
Correct. Well, he doesn't claim the girlfriend, but yes, he has.
Okay.
It was Kayla's connection with a realtor named Terrence from New York that raised concerns for Janisa. Terrence also had a girlfriend in New York, though he claimed they were not in a relationship. Terry and Kayla had met the previous August and began spending time together when Kayla visited New York. However, Kayla's interactions with Terry were not without complications. His girlfriend began harassing Kayla, sending threatening messages on Instagram and showing up uninvited, often knowing exactly when Kayla had been with Terry and contacting her afterward. Despite this tension, when the prank calls escalated, Kayla still suspected Velt's girlfriend was behind them. According to Diana and Janisa, Kayla viewed her interactions with Terrence as casual and not worth worrying about. But it became clear that Terry's girlfriend had a very different perspective. Just before her death, Kayla had returned from a trip to New York, where she and Janisa spent a night out with Terry and his friends without incident. This was in contrast to a prior visit when Terry's girlfriend had shown up unexpectedly and caused a scene, looking for a confrontation.
She was waiting for Kayla at a lounge when we were in New York.
And not this past time, but
No,
before that?
this was about last year.
Okay. Why was she waiting for her there?
Probably to fight her.
Oh, she wasn't like, they weren't trying to meet up and like squash something.
No,
She
it
just
was-
happened to show up where Kayla was headed.
That place was a frequent place for the guys to go hang out. So she went there in some sweats, hair tied back, looking to fight.
This is like an after hours place?
Yes.
There was no physical confrontation that night. Kayla managed to avoid the situation, opting to leave the scene instead. That night may have been a warning sign for her, as shortly after, the threatening phone calls and texts increased. Kayla's best friend, Janisa, shared text messages with detectives that revealed the extent of the harassment Kayla had been enduring.
You're a whore. Leave my man alone. Like, just stuff like that, antagonizing him. But she goes, the girl keep calling me and text me now. She said, like, they would be silent for a good minute. Then I would have to scream hello just for them to say hello. Then at the end, she was like, you know you're a whore, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. Tell me something else. Then the bitch would go quiet. The next day in the morning, she messaged her again. Could be a female, meanwhile I'm sitting here pregnant. The sick part is, if y'all really talking and hanging out, I want you to know I'm not coming easy on either of y'all. The girl crazy. He had a tracker in his car. That's how she found out that they went out to eat, that he was picking her up. But for the most part, there's not one time that she did not know.
The woman involved in this situation, whether or not she was still in a relationship with Terrence, the realtor, was 28-year-old Sakina Thompson. Sakina worked as a nail technician and had previously started a YouTube channel where she shared beauty tips and makeup tutorials.
Hey guys, my name is Sakina. I'm from New York. I'm 20 years old. I'm a full-time nail technician. Yeah, I didn't really know what to say, but hello. Yeah. Okay, bye.
Despite Terry's claims that he was not involved with Sakina at the time, it appeared that they had been in a committed relationship in the past. Sakina's social media posts were filled with videos showing the time she had spent with Terry. She shared photos and videos of large bouquets of flowers, likely from him, and posted a montage from a dinner date that even included a shot of personalized boxer briefs with her photo on the waistband. In another post, she shared a video of herself unwrapping a luxury gift with Terry in the background, receiving congratulations from friends. Whether these posts exaggerated the relationship's happiness is uncertain, but it was clear that, in Sakina's mind, Terry was her partner, and she did not want him in contact with other women. Sakina followed Kayla on Instagram and appeared to monitor her closely. Just days before Kayla's death, she blocked Sakina.
A bitch just be talking about me, thinking I ain't gonna go look on their page. I be looking at y'all page, and y'all can't talk about me.
It seemed unlikely that the last night Kayla and Terry spent together in New York went unnoticed by Sakina. It seemed almost certain that Sakina had access to Terry's phone, using it to keep track of his interactions with other women. She even posted their private messages online, which displayed Terry's affection for her.
She was really mentally psycho. Like, mentally, the girl would not leave Kayla alone. Mind you, this guy talks to many other girls in New York. But I think the fact that Kayla was gorgeous, you know, she had the body and everything, like, Terrence was just after her. And that was just a persistent thing with her. It wasn't just a one night, you know? It was persistent, and he would work on it. He would fly her out. He would send her food. Like, you know, it was persistent. I feel like she felt like she was a threat. And I don't know, I was sitting at home, and I don't know, everybody kept asking me, like, do you know anybody that Kayla had problems with? Do you know anybody that didn't like her? You know, nothing triggered to me, and then all of a sudden it just hit me, like, I forgot about this girl would literally antagonize Kayla for no reason. I know Terrence has bought a flight for Kayla, you know, to come to New York. So I have you know, of course the address would have to be in their messages. And the girl has access to his phone because she's texted Kayla off his phone. So that's the only way I can think that she can get the addresses.
Given these details, it seemed likely that Sakina had access to his phone, where Kayla's address was stored. This added to the suspicion that Sakina, motivated by jealousy and anger, had access to the phone of her sometimes partner. Sakina Thompson fit the physical description of the woman seen on surveillance footage outside Kayla's apartment the night of the murder. Her photo was included in a lineup presented to the teenage neighbor who had witnessed the likely killer.
In your own words, like, if you were to say how sure you were that was the person.
95.
95? Okay.
On Wednesday, August 3rd, 2022, Sakina Thompson was arrested with the help of the U.S. Marshals Task Force in New York. She was extradited to Florida, and at the time of her arrest, she had a small black Prada purse containing several items, including a printout of a plane ticket from New York to Fort Lauderdale, dated July 12th, with a return date of July 14th. Investigators also learned that Sakina was 2 months pregnant. Sakina pleaded not guilty to the charge of first-degree premeditated murder. There was no dispute that she was the woman seen outside Kayla's apartment on the night of the murder. In addition to the plane ticket, investigators were able to link her to a stay at the Plaza Hotel, Lyft rides to and from the airport, and attempts to conceal her Uber rides to and from Kayla's apartment by using a fake account. Reports from social media indicate that Sakina gave birth in 2023 while in custody, awaiting trial for the murder of Kayla Hodgson. Her pregnancy would later play a central role in her defense strategy. Sakina claimed that she traveled to Florida to confront Kayla, woman to woman, after being blocked on social media. She stated that once she arrived, Kayla attacked her with a hookah. During the confrontation, she alleged that the hookah glass shattered, and a shard of glass slashed her across the midsection, causing her to black out as she struggled to protect her unborn child. Sakina testified in her own defense over the course of 2 days, admitting that she cleaned parts of the crime scene, changed into fresh clothes she found in the apartment, and disposed of evidence in the trash before leaving the scene. She also acknowledged her feelings of jealousy toward Kayla.
A little, I guess you could say, jealous and like insecure.
Despite admitting to a motive driven by jealousy, Sakina maintained that Kayla had initiated the physical confrontation by hitting her over the head with the hookah.
Punching me.
Punching you where?
My face.
Where on your face? Point to it for us.
I don't remember, but everywhere
You
on my
don't
face.
remember where she was punching you in your face?
In my face.
I mean, this is why you killed her, right?
No.
Right?
No.
It's not?
No.
You didn't kill her because she was fighting you?
No, I killed her because she took the glass from the hookah and slashed me across my stomach.
Prosecutors, however, did not accept the notion of a blackout as a plausible explanation. They argued that while the attack on Kayla, which resulted in her death from multiple stab wounds, might have been fueled by rage, it also constituted first-degree murder. Sakina testified that after being slashed by the glass, she came to her senses holding a weapon and standing over Kayla's body. Despite her claim of a temporary blackout, Sakina showed enough awareness to clean up parts of the crime scene, change her clothes, and dispose of the bloody items.
I wasn't really walking over the blood, I was walking in the blood.
You walked in the blood?
Yes.
With what shoes?
The BB shoes. I changed my shoes.
On Tuesday, October 14th, 2025, after about an hour of deliberation, the jury found Sakina Thompson guilty of first-degree murder. Her sentencing took place on December 1st. Kayla's mother and brother addressed the court with victim impact statements, expressing their gratitude to law enforcement and the prosecution for their commitment to seeking justice for Kayla.
We are forever changed, but by God, He did break us. We are stronger, and Kayla will be remembered always.
Others, including Kayla's aunt and godmother, also spoke in memory of Kayla. Judge Siegel, in handing down the sentence, described the murder as heinous and emphasized that a life sentence was the only appropriate punishment for such a premeditated crime. He sentenced Sakina Thompson to life in prison without the possibility of parole. And with that, the tragic case of Kayla Hodgson reached its conclusion.